Welcome to the INFOWARS Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. It is December 30th, 2015, and here's a look at our top stories.
Tonight, Alex Jones speaks with the legendary investigative journalist Seymour Hersh in a bombshell interview about the real U.S. foreign policy in Syria.
I don't know how history's going to judge this. As you can gather, stories like this in the mainstream press don't get copied.
Then, Google Chrome sets out to suffocate Donald Trump. Plus, a Happy New Year's gift from INFOWARS. Some of the best rants of the year from Alex Jones.
Wait a minute, I thought you wanted to act tough, man. I thought you wanted to kill me. I thought you were strong. No, you're not a man. You're the fake image of one. You don't build anything. You're not even alive. Your women and children don't belong to you. They belong to the globalists who conquered you.
Clean, pure drinking water. You can't survive without it. But where do you get it? Alexa Pure Pro is a brand new, groundbreaking, gravity-fed water filtration system that is like no other. The Alexa Pure Pro transforms water from virtually any fresh source into clean, healthy drinking water, pairing the unprecedented superfiltration power of an all-new gravity block core with a hybrid chromatic shell. It removes up to 99.999% of impurities, including bacteria, viruses, fluoride, disinfectants, volatile organic contaminants, and hormones. Filter capacity up to 5,000 gallons. Stainless steel construction, easy assembly, low maintenance. Replacement filters are simple to install. And now, as part of an exclusive limited time introductory offer, you can save $20 off the retail price and get free shipping. This is a limited time offer, so order your unit today and receive free shipping and $20 off. Go to InfoWarsStore.com or call 888-253-3139.
You know, here at INFOWARS, a lot of times we get called fear mongers and you're trying to scare people and do all this and that just because we're bringing you the information of the day. But we've seen a very hard push over the past year, especially coming up upon New Year's, telling you to be afraid, to be vigilant, do all these things. And of course, you should always be vigilant in your daily lives. But now we have all these terror threats without any type of validity backing them. Yes, we've seen people like ISIS and, of course, the San Bernardino shooters do things, but there's really no credible terror threat. And now we see heavily armed anti-terror cops to send a message on New Year's Eve to Times Square. And basically, they document how even though there is no specific credible threat against the country, they're telling everybody to pretty much be afraid and shake in your boots. Once again, you always want to be vigilant and watchful and protective. If you do see something, you know, if you see a guy making a pipe bomb, yeah, okay, maybe you go tell the cops, but you don't have to live your life in any type of perpetual fear. Go out and enjoy your life. I mean, when it comes to New Year's Eve, I'm much more concerned about being hit by a drunk driver than I am about being attacked by a terrorist, because you can look at the statistics from the FBI, you're more likely to get hit in the head with a hammer than you are to be killed by a terrorist. We see similar things going on in Brussels where they actually canceled New Year's Eve, the fireworks, due to a threat. So it's really going all over. Once again, you know, we always hear that the terrorists hate us for our freedoms and they hate us for our celebrations. Well, they don't have much to hate us for anymore if you just stay at home and not enjoy your life. So enjoy your life. Just be safe about it. And once again, watch out for those drunk drivers. Now, something else people are trying to watch out for, Donald Trump. The Trump is, you know, a very controversial guy. He's, you know, probably one of the top 5 people of the year as far as just being in the public eye, whether you love him or hate him. And now somebody is taking exception to that and actually making an app to where you can filter out Donald Trump. And it's something that operates on Google Chrome, and you can suffocate the presidential candidate on the web. And they have a great image. There it is right there. Trump filter, erase Donald Trump from the internet and make the internet great again. So, I mean, if you had enough of Trump, you can put that in. I just thought it was a funny story. You know, I've said before, you know, if the election was held tomorrow, I personally would not vote for Trump, but, you know, people like him for whatever reason. And as an American citizen, you have the right to do that. Now, Trump, as well as many other people, have made Wired Magazine's most dangerous people of 2015 as far as an internet presence. Now, we said Donald Trump, also Julian Assange is on the group. ISIS is on this group, on the list. James Comey, the FBI director, is on the group. And one guy in particular, right here in the city of Austin, Texas, Cody Wilson. You guys know him as the guy behind the printable gun technology. He also does dark wallet and a lot of work with Bitcoins and those type of things. And the reason why he's on the list, according to the author, is because Cody has made something with the Ghost Gunner, as he calls it. It's a milling machine that allows you to create a metal body for an AR-15 with no background check or even a serial number, which to me is a very irrational fear at this point in time in history. Because let's do a little bit of role playing, okay? Let's say I'm an ex-con, I just got out of prison, a violent ex-con, not somebody sent in under a nickel and dime drug charge, but I actually hurt somebody, and I get out of prison, I've been plotting my revenge, and I'm out in the streets and I want to do some damage. Now, am I going to go buy a Ghost Gunner machine, all the materials and everything else, learn how to do this stuff from using the internet, take weeks, months trying to just get the knowledge to do it, as well as thousands of dollars to get the equipment itself? Or am I going to go give $300 and buy a pump action shotgun? Yeah, I mean, it's completely irrational. Yeah, you can make things in the privacy of your own home, but if you're hurting for cash, you're not going to go make some Ghost Gunner. Maybe some James Bond or some spy guy wants to use a disposable gun, like a printable gun, but to any criminal on the street, no, they're gonna go buy a gun black market. Yes, you can buy anything else black market, a snub nose 38 shotgun, something similar to that. So it's completely irrational, in my opinion, to put Cody on the same list as ISIS. That's a little bridge too far there, Wired Magazine. And hopefully we'll have a chance to have Cody on the show early in the new year so he can explain more about the technology and why people are afraid of it in general. Now let's go to David Knight with a hot topic talking about the state of gun rights here in the United States of America.
Republican legislators are threatening to remove Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe's protection detail. The Democrat governor, former campaign manager for Hillary Clinton, and his attorney general are eager to enact new gun control laws without involvement from the legislature. So Attorney General Herring announced that he would no longer recognize concealed carry permits from 25 states. Just like that. One guy tells the most law-abiding, most vetted people, you can no longer protect yourself, protect your family. He implies these 25 other states don't have the same standards of background checks that Virginia does. Not true. So Republicans in the Virginia legislature are saying if the governor is so afraid of guns, we're not going to surround him with armed state policemen. And the people in Virginia need to tell the governor that if he won't allow them to protect themselves, they're not going to pay for him to be protected by an army of bodyguards. For more information, go to INFOWARS.com. I'm David Knight.
And here's a prime example of why you need to have your Second Amendment right here in the United States of America. We have a woman, a mother, who stopped home invasion suspects actually killing them, 3 of them who were armed when they came into her home.
They all 3 had guns. I'm confused. They must not have had bullets because I shot the trigger and it just took off instead of firing back. I don't know if I hit one or not. I don't see bullets anywhere.
Before shots were fired, here's the 3 young men caught on home surveillance, all armed, lurking outside around 6 this morning. They kicked their way in.
I got my gun and I started shooting and they ran.
One suspect was shot, killed, later found outside by police.
And it's not just there. We've seen the police chiefs in Milwaukee, the police chiefs in Detroit saying that you, the citizen, need to take it upon yourselves to be responsibly trained, responsibly armed, and defend yourselves, because they admit we can't be every place to protect you all the time. And I cannot agree with that more. Even if you do, even if the officer is around or somewhere in the area, let's give you another role-playing example. The cop shows up, he sees one guy with a butcher knife, another guy with a baseball bat, they're swinging them at each other. He doesn't know who's the home invader. He doesn't know who's the homeowner. So it could potentially put you in a dangerous situation if, let's say, you're the guy with a butcher knife trying to defend yourself. That's why if you have the equalizer being the firearm, you could shoot the guy if necessary, or maybe at least hold him at gunpoint until the police arrive. So I definitely don't want to see these stricter gun control policies that the people are trying to push through come in 2016. Because really what we've seen, we saw the report just the other day coming out of California. I can't recall exactly the wording of it, but it's to where you could call pretty much anonymously, say, hey, I think, Joe over here is planning some type of mass shooting, and it could all go all the way up to a judge, and they could potentially take away your firearm rights for a extended period of time and while the investigation is ongoing. And I understand, you have things like mass shooters. If you do suspect your neighbor is up to something, you may want to call the police and report on it. But at the same time, you have people who just may get in an argument. You know, I got in an argument with Bob over there. He owns a firearm, just like we saw with Piers Morgan, the guest who was on his show when Alex was on. They brought him on later, and he says, I wouldn't feel comfortable having an argument with Alex Jones when he has 50 guns in his house. That's the type of guy who would call and can potentially get your firearms taken away, and I do not support that one bit. Now, another thing I don't support, this affluenza thing. You know, I'm not a big fan of putting people in prison, especially nonviolent offenders. This, of course, is a violent offender. But if your defense, when you go to court, you know, you have your lawyers and the judges and all that there. If your defense is you are completely irresponsible and should not be held accountable for your actions, that's the type of person who needs to be in prison, not people who make some type of say, hey, it was just so far beyond me. I can't be held responsible for my actions. You need to go to prison. And now we see the affluenza teen, the guy who ran over people in a drunk driving incident, was given 10 years probation, which I thought was exceptionally lax and lenient on the young man. He decided to flee the country and now has been caught. And he was caught down in Mexico along with his mother. And they're saying that he may not be transported to the United States just yet, but the guy is in custody. And I definitely think this is the type of person who should be in a prison cell, because it's completely ridiculous for this guy to go out here and do this heinous crime. He's out partying, he breaks his probation, and then he decides to run. I wonder if they're going to use the same type of excuse again. Well, his mother is so wealthy and well off that she didn't understand that taking her son out of the country was a violation of his probation. Oh, they put them both in the jail where they can't hurt anybody else or waste any more taxpayer dollars having to look for him. And I believe it was the sheriff of their county, I believe it was Harris County here in Texas. He was saying that, yeah, I don't think you should give this kid probation. He's just going to break probation, which is exactly what happened. So you should occasionally listen to your local sheriff. Now, a guy who is, I guess he hasn't violated probation, but he just went to jail, got out of jail. That is Bill Cosby. He has posted a $1 million bail after being charged with sexual assault. We're going to talk about this more with Leanne McAdoo coming up in the next segment. The differences between Bill Cosby and Bill Clinton, because Bill Cosby gets accused of all this stuff. It's an international news story overnight, people coming out of the woodwork, and what happens? He eventually lands up in a jail cell. Meanwhile, people have been accusing Bill Clinton of things for decades. The guy's still running around. He's going to college campuses. He's doing political speeches, book signings, all this other stuff. And if you dare bring up the allegations against Bill Clinton, then, oh, you're just anti-Hillary. It's some type of political play to knock her down. It's like, no, we want this guy to be held accountable for the things that he's been accused of. Also, people who need to be held accountable, Planned Parenthood. We see a new annual report. They have reported a whopping 300,000 abortions in the fiscal year in $553 million in government money. And it's always the debate, it's my body, it's my choice. This is what the pro-abortion advocates say. And that's fine. We don't have to talk about religion or politics or anything else. If it's your body, it's your choice. You go do what you want to do, but it's my money, it's my choice. I'm not paying for your damn abortion. And we're going to go on to our last story before we go on to a special report from John Bound that will come back with more special reports. We have Cy Hirsch, who was on the Alex Jones show today, as well as many other things. Paul, that's Rand Paul, appalled by the NSA spying on Congress. And I'll give it to Rand. He's been talking about the NSA and all their dirty deeds for a very long time, back when they were just spying on you and me. And many politicians remained silent until it came knocking at their door. Feinstein was fine with you and me being spied on, but then when she started getting spied on, she found out they were looking at her as well. Same thing with the CIA director. Was it Petraeus or Panetta, the guy who got caught up in that big scandal? They were fine until it happened to them. So let's go to a special report from John Bound, and we'll be back later with more content right here on the INFOWARS Nightly News.
When it comes to telephone calls, every member of Congress has been briefed on this program. With respect to all these programs, the relevant intelligence committees are fully briefed on these programs. These are programs that have been authorized by broad bipartisan majorities repeatedly since 2006. And at the outset, it's important to understand that your duly elected representatives have been consistently informed on exactly what we're doing.
The apparatus of the Obama administration's NSA tentacles apparently have zero